welcome back to the June 6th edition of Market Recap. We had a nice green day today with the S&P up 0.86%, the NASDAQ up 0.2%, and the Dow up 1.4%. Touching on a little bit of what we talked about yesterday, we had pretty steady hold on the social media stocks. Twitter, Snap didn't really move a whole lot and continued their uptrend. In fact, Facebook had a slight dip off that bad news of their further privacy missteps. And now touching back onto the financials from yesterday, let's go look at Bank of America. We have some good news coming out. Economic reports today, we had a tightening or further tightening in our trade deficit. It came in a lot better than expected by about $2 billion, which is obviously good news for the banks and good news for our economy as a whole. So we get a nice jump in Bank of America, which was struggling and sort of lagging the market yesterday. Financials across the board were up, and we see Bank of America putting on a nice 3% today. Another update from yesterday, we have Starbucks. So as you guys probably know, Starbucks CEO stepped down yesterday. Howard Schultz stepped down. We saw a sharp decline in their stock, which was really irrational. They have a really strong management team, and it's not like people are going to stop going to Starbucks because they have a new CEO. So we have, rightfully so, the stock popped immediately back up today. Really nice play if you got in there. So yeah, that's it for updates on yesterday. Let's check into the news for today. I'm going to start out with Ambarella. Hopping over to Ambarella. Ambarella is the chip producer for video graphics cards, and we're mainly known for being on the side of GoPro and working with GoPro in their cameras. But ever since they lost that contract, it's been a slow downward decline and sort of an easy call coming into this earnings today. We see the earnings numbers totally tank, and I'll throw those exact numbers for you up on the screen. And we see a 13% decline based on that lower, or the total estimate miss, lower earnings year over year, lower revenue. But anyone with a brain could see it coming. They lost that GoPro contract. They didn't have a whole lot of other big clients. GoPro's been on the decline, so taking a hit today on the final confirmation report that they don't really have the same earnings. Another thing, touching back to yesterday, we have the whiskey tariffs that Mexico has put into place, with 25% whiskey tariff on the United States, and we see a big reaction in Brown-Forman Corporation, which is the producer of Jack Daniel's American whiskey. We're a large exporter to Mexico because they took a large hit today based on that, 5.78% down just on the tariff news. It's more remnants of the trade war, but again, I have to say this is probably nearing the end of what our trade war has to hold. There's not a whole lot else going on. I don't think the U.S. is looking to levy many more tariffs, and the pressures from WTO are going to push them to hold off. So going to the driver in the Dow today, we really have Boeing being the main leader. So it came out today that Boeing had purchased Kitty Hawk, which is a personal vehicle, sort of drone flying car company. Startup that's creating these really awesome flying cars, essentially, and these like Osprey sort of things. Got these sort of personal drones that you can fly around in. I definitely recommend you check it out if you haven't. It's really cool. And then also another big news for Boeing is they have a $25 million Navy contract that they just scored, which could potentially turn into something bigger. So we see Boeing pop 3.18% today, which is obviously a big help for the Dow, which is only 30 companies, so we can see one company like Boeing really driving that growth and pushing to new highs, actually. So finally breaking out of that trend. You almost see a nice cup and handle there with a breakout. So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about Comcast. So Comcast came out to, or well, not Comcast came out today, but the UK government came out today and said they would likely not block any purchase made on Sky Sports, which is essentially their ESPN over there, covering soccer and European sports. And so Comcast is in a bidding war with Disney to buy Sky Sports, and they're the clear front runner right now, really going for a hostile takeover there. And it sounds like that takeover won't be blocked, so you see a nice jump in Comcast based on the fact that they're going to be acquiring another profitable segment and expanding their business through that further consolidation of the industry. AT&T actually doing a similar thing and getting really similar news. We have rumors coming out of the Department of Justice today that there's actually still a chance that their merger with Time Warner Cable will go through, continuing the consolidation in the media world. So AT&T bought DirecTV a while back, and it looks like they're going to further that by Time Warner slash Spectrum Cable, further consolidating the industry and adding to their growth efforts. More big news, or big movers for the day, comes out of Tesla. Tesla today reaffirmed their support for CEO Elon Musk. And Elon Musk came out and said that they're starting to meet their short-term goals with the Model 3 production. And he thinks that they'll be turning around and making some money soon. Of course, Elon Musk is always making pretty big promises to the Tesla team. And he's not always following through, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out with such a large jump coming from really rumors and more brilliant marketing coming from Elon Musk, who manages time and time again to woo the support of investors and your average everyday people with exciting goals and grand promises. More big news and big movers for the day. First Solar had a huge negative move on a downgrade coming from JMP Bank. This follows a report from China that says they will be more than halving their goal for solar production. So I put the numbers on the screen, but they will be, I think it's somewhere from 85 milliwatts down to 35 milliwatts of total production, and they're thinking that they have most of that covered within China and won't really be using outside companies such as First Solar. So they've been taking a hard hit over the last couple of days, and even harder hit today with this downgrade. They were down almost 7% midday, but recovered slightly. But again, huge downtrend, really breaking out of the trench that they've been in, breaking through key resistance. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. That's about all I have for today. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. See you tomorrow.